Okay, so we're here. We're here today to do the Smyth Performance Charger build video. You're going to find that a lot of these things that you're learning today are applicable to all of our kits. I'll try to specify when each section that applies to more than one kit is here, and I'll try to be as clear as I can. The Smyth kit, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, the Smyth Charger kit is the same as all of our other ones, which means we have a CNC cut aluminum bed assembly, which consists of a front wall, which is this right here. I'll show you how it goes together. A front wall and two bed sides connected with several bars and trays that really reinforce the entire rear of the car as it attaches to the B-pillar, which is that area right in front of the rear door. So we'll go through those details today and show you how the rear bed attaches to the Charger, how the bed goes together, how the tailgate is assembled and how that goes onto the car. And by the end of the session here, we're hoping that the rear tailgate, the sides, and the front wall are connected to the Dodge Charger that we have here today. So these steps you're going to see today are really the same in almost all of our cars. So let's get started. As you're in another video, we're going to take the disassembly of the crate and all the components. Today, all of your pieces will be out of the crate and laid out. This would be your front wall. So as you see, everything is 1/8 inch aluminum in the rear, the structural pieces. So at the bottom here is the leading edge of the rear seat where you're going to mount the car, or mount this piece to the car. This is going to be the front of the bed assembly. And on each of these pieces that you'll see today, you're going to see a 1/8 inch pierce. So each of these, on this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pierces about a foot off the bottom of the piece. And what you do is you drill with a 5/16 drill each of those. Yeah, go ahead, dive in. The pilot hole is just right for aluminum drills so easily compared to steel. That's why the pierces are so effective for us. Anyway, the CNC pierces show you exactly where you're supposed to drill your holes, and then we will also be drilling holes on the front tray that mounts up to this part. So for the next few minutes, we're going to drill those holes. I'll try to zoom in here, Mike, as you do that, just so they can see the pierces. And you can see here, each of the little pierces are in a line about a foot off the floor. So that's really it. Okay? So our final part, now the front wall on this car is the same as the Jetta. I believe, Mike, am I right, that Jetta has a few pierces on the bottom under this that mark off where the rivets go, or is that smooth as well?
That's a good question. I think it's mostly smooth on the bottom. On the Jetta, there are some rivets to show you exactly where to put a little grommet plate that seals up all the electrical wires.
So on the Charger, you've got your 7 holes across the back, and this part is pretty much ready to install in the car. So I'll hold that up for you. So, I mean, it really does work easier. Give yourself a bench, drill your 5/16 holes on one side of the part. We'll pull this one out. We'll do a bedside. So this part, everyone, just so you can see it, hold that up, Mike. If you were to imagine this one on the car, this is the right-hand bedside, the passenger side bedside. These shapes here go up and over the rear wheel wells that are stamped steel on the Charger. This is the rear area where the tailgate mounts, and so all the pierces on this, same as the bed, the bed front wall. All of these holes, we're going to drill out to 5/16. We use inch drills because millimeter drill sets are pretty rare in the United States, and the 5/16 is just perfect for the 8 millimeter stainless fasteners that we use to mount the bed sides together. So we'll drill this one out again, just like we did the other side. The only exception on the Charger is there is one large half-inch hole just above, and I'll try to zoom in there. You can see there's one half-inch hole that lines up to the seatbelt bolt that's on the Charger. The rest of these this is where you really have to love aluminum. It drills so easy. It's so easy to handle. And same thing, the little pierce hole. So that gives you an idea. I'll go back here, Mike. And so far, so good on the live feed, Mike. We're pretty... So this step, Mike, is drilling those 5/16 holes in all of the small 1/8 inch pierces that you see on the part. So this is the right side bed. Okay, so that's the right side bed. That's all right. So this is it's like Vanna White. Same thing. This is the driver's side bed. This is the leading edge here that goes up toward the B-pillar. This is the middle. This is the driver's side, so the fuel cap and the fuel emissions control stuff is here on this side. So that's why this one goes up a little higher. And then the same pieces that you have, or in reverse, but it's the same as the other side. So we can do the same thing we did last time. All right, so I can take a quick break here. I can find if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in between while we're drilling holes. But like I was saying, the drilling of the holes, whether it's a Jetta, an Audi, or a Charger, those 5/16 holes really get you ready to put your stainless button head fasteners into these parts and assemble the entire bed, which we're going to do next. So kind of fun. So once again, from this live feed footage, we'll be, narrating a build video, for anyone building a Charger. Those first 5 guys with the new version of the Charger are getting set to get their kits this next week or two. First one's in a few days. Michael, that's the pilot. What we like for drills, by the way, with this 5/16, they sell the drill bits that have the little pilot drill in the middle. It's got an 1/8 of an inch pilot. Believe it or not, that's a 10-year-old drill bit that Mike is using, but we only use it on aluminum. So there's your bedside.
Ready to bolt together.
Number 2. So as Mike puts those away, we'll grab those crossbars and show you how I take it back. Yeah, let's go do a quick narrative on the front tray. So Mike, on these, the pierced ends are now symmetrical?
On
They're
both sides, yeah, so you saw on the
they're
front
every
side,
other. Okay, I got you.
We've got these 7 pierces for the big long front wall, and they bolt together. And then here on this side, we have a piece that goes to the floor to give it a lot of strength. And
Excellent.
these pierces match up too.
Okay, so I'll do a slower narrative. You've got that piece and that one. Let me see this one here. That's got the same. Okay. Take a pause here. You'll be able to cut away later,
Yeah,
right? We've already shown you the left side, the right side of the bed, and the front wall where we drilled our 5/16 holes. Connecting the 2 sides and the front wall at the very front of the bed, down low on the bed floor, is this tray. So Mike will show you. On some of our cars, we make this into one piece, especially like the Audi. You'll see when we finish drilling everything, we'll position it in space so you can see it. But the holes that are pierced here really are precision holes because, you know, the holes here are going to line up to another piece that we're going to drill separately. So when those two go together, they're precisely fit for the front of the bed on the Charger. So on the Audi, this is all one piece. On the Jetta, you've got a bar and a tray. So there are slight variations throughout the model line, but we're doing the Charger today. So we have a relatively large front tray that goes at the front of the bed, and we're going to drill all these holes and then show you how the front piece bolts to this before it goes into the car. So dive right in. I'll leave that for you, Mike. That front tray area, just for you guys watching today, we put a lot of engineering time into the front tray because the front tray, if you're hauling a motorcycle, the front wheel of the motorcycle is usually where you really crank down, you know, on a strap that holds the motorcycle. So you've really got to be able to anchor that thing well in all of our utes. And so you'll find that the front tray and the rear edge of the front tray, we spend a lot of time making sure that's braced properly in the middle, mostly for motorcycle guys. Over the years here, we've, you know, found a lot of people use this for dirt bikes all the way up to like a CV750 or so. Even in the Jetta, you can haul a pretty good sized motorcycle. And some of the early input was you got to make sure we really brace that area a foot or so behind the front wall. So that's why if you see any complexities up at the front wall, that's why. We really do spend some time engineering that up front. Is the audio still good, everyone? Victor, I saw your comment here. That's really funny. Remember, I am going to keep this one posted on the Facebook page, so feel free to watch the video at home if you don't want to use up all your data. So yeah, timing-wise, I think Mike and I will probably do the Jetta next. So as you can watch him doing, so he's drilling all of the pierces around the side. It's a good, how many holes? 3 on each side, it looks like, and
1,
2, 3.
5 on the other side.
So 5 on one side, 7 on the other, 3 on the side. It's quite a, you know, it's quite a lot of holes, but at the same time, yeah, exactly. The aluminum drills so well and so easily that it really gives you a good, you know, perfect pilot hole to start the process. We'll just start the build. Trying to find I'm looking over behind the shop here to see what the inventory status is for the other tray. So I wanted to find another tray to show you, but it doesn't look like I have one. So that's your front tray. This is the brace. We'll call that the front tray rear brace, maybe. This, we'll take a quick break and clean up, I guess. Look at all the chips. So this is your rear tray for the Charger. Mike is finishing up the drilling of the front brace. So this piece right here, these holes here line up with the holes Mike is making right now. And as it sits in the Charger, this I am in the position of the front wall. This is going to go down low and be the bed floor subassembly. The front of this piece that's up against me bolts right up to the front wall where my right hand is, right here. That's where Mike's piece is going to bolt, and that one goes all the way to the floor. And we'll show you this obviously as it fits into the car, but these pre-drilling these holes makes quite a difference in the time it takes to make the car. You pull this one out of the way, Mike. Set. You know, put yours. I'll hold it. Just set it in place. As Mike, you might have to be loud because this mic here might not pick it up. So there's where the brace fits. So you line up those holes. That little leg fits on the bottom of the Charger floor, and then this is the leading foot or so of the Dodge Charger bed floor. All right. Yeah, you guys try going on live to 100,000 people, okay? It's brutal. And you guys would tell me if I had like something coming out of my nose or something, right? Like you wouldn't let me just sit there, would you? Okay, ready? Oh, underneath is right. Okay, so this next section, we've already drilled all the holes on the bed sides and the front wall and the front tray. And we're going to show you how all those go together off of the car. It's much easier. So this is going to be the assembly of the front tray. Now this is the bed floor down low where things will be loaded. So we're going to attach the front tray to the front wall loosely with our stainless fasteners. And these are all button head cap screws. I'll try to zoom in on this while Mike is assembling the pieces. But stainless steel button head cap screws. So you're going to have a 5mm Allen wrench and you're going to have a 13mm socket. So we'll loosely fit everything, and this entire process is about fitting everything loose, putting the whole assembly onto the car, and you keep it loose so you can jiggle it a little bit, and then cinching everything down once it's on the car. So, having said that, I'll pull up our bed side right here, and I think I'll just act like a holder for you, Mike.
Alrighty.
Move this out of the way. There we go. So I can hold one side and the other. How would you like to do it? So there's a bag of these fasteners. There's 100 of them each side. So there's 100 of the, stainless fasteners, 100 of the nuts. You're going to use those a lot. We use it to fasten the latches, the, panels. We do use some rivets on the front B pillar. But most of the rest of the kit is bolted together with these stainless 8mm fasteners, that you see Mike using right now. Actually, if the front tray goes in with a little 2x4, that'll do freestanding, won't it?
Well,
That's kind of cool.
If I sink these down tight right now, it'll actually hold it up.
Okay.
I wouldn't normally sink things tight, but.
Do you have your, well, here's the front. I'm waiting for some kind of a disaster, but go ahead. Okay, I'll hold these while you put the kicker on. There you go. And I think once the kicker is on, we'll get Zach to give us a little section of 2x4 or something. How far down does the? Well, you'll need footage of me just sitting here holding, so we'll do that. You can use a ledge. I can see now. Talking is what I do best. So this assembly is just what you would be doing in your garage. The leading edge. You want me to tilt it down for you? Anything easier? So you'll notice Mike's doing one. Do you have a short section of 2x4, Zach? Yeah, well, no, I can use that. That's fine. We're just going to put it under the leading leg here. Slide it right underneath that, lengthwise, just to hold it right there for Mike. Perfect. Thank you. So there's our tip number one. There.
There you go.
So as Mike tidies up, I think you've got one or two. Should I still hold it? Probably. I'm good. So that's a really good shot right there, Mike. I'll give it a pause so you actually have it. So this is the front wall that goes behind the front seats. So, can I say that again without a typo or without a... This assembly right here is your front wall and front tray assembly for the Dodge Charger. This is going to be mounted right behind the front seats. So this is the main bulkhead of the kit. What you see right there is the front wall and the front tray assembled. The next step is going to be assembling the left and right bedsides to that assembly. There you go.
Yep.
And then, here you go. And what was your tip now? As you assemble it, just drop it straight down?
So if you hold that for a second, I'll put a
Sure can.
screw in. That'll mostly do it.
You can slide that right into there if you want, Zach. That's good.
It's not really high enough.
It's just about okay. Maybe another 2x4?
Yeah. It's good, not a big deal.
Up, down. Now, if you do that, I'm going to... Here, hold on 1 second, Mike.
Yeah.
Let me get the... I'm going to pull the camera around and just show what you're doing. That's perfect, Zach. Thank you. All right, let me get the camera real quick. You're doing that, so here we go. At this point, there are 3 bolts on the side.
Yep. Make sure you use a washer.
So a stainless steel socket head cap with a washer mounted to the front tray. Other side?
Yep.
The bedside sets, good reach. The bedside sits on top of the front wall at the corner. Good.
Okay, there we go.
I think that's me not lining it up.
No problem.
Perfect. Thank you, Zach. You got it? How's that? Is that good? Up, down?
That's great. It's all
All right.
together now.
So I'm going to pull that camera off now and do a mobile walk around here. All right, so, okay. In order to mount the bed sides, let's show this up here, Mike. These 3 bolts that Mike is installing. Put the washer on the stainless bolt. I'm going to move this up and down.
There we go.
A little nudge.
Thank you.
Anyway, the CNC bolts, or the CNC, hold on, pause. The CNC cut holes that we just drilled 5/16 take the 8mm stainless bolts and a washer and mount the front tray. And underneath, here's your brace. And then Mike will continue to mount the rest of these 5/16 holes loosely. Okay. See how we do. Okay, we are still building the front tray section. Can you get those crossbars for him? And I'll, yeah, just hand those over to me. Oh, that's all right, yeah. That's good. We'll do the rear one, short one first. Good job sanding, Zach. Pull these out for you. I think we're looking good.
No, I went 80 to get this stuff off, and I thought there's supposed to be some steps between.
Okay. All right, actually, come on over here, Zach. Hold those for him, and I'll watch the video real quick. Okay, as we do this, I'll try to get all the questions.
They all fit, Mark.
Yeah, so far so good. It's not bad there, Smyth engineer.
Love finding out whether your designs work on
Live. So Mike is finishing up the front tray area. Really kind of cool to see this go together, even for me. You know, we've done so many of them. It's you know, you get used to it. But as far as the actual build goes, it's a fascinating process. And even though this is a dry run, I think we'll be able to use a lot of this footage, you know, for our build video. Okay, well, you know, let's put that one short bar, if we could, in the back, just to brace the rear. And you know what, I'm going to move this back a little, and we'll get some more. So the front, I can actually remove now. Hold this for me, Zach. I'm going to pull this one out. Get rid of as much as I can. Okay, let me see real quick without anybody in the picture. All right, that's me 30 seconds ago. Got it. You know, it does work really well getting the wider shot, doesn't it? So all we used a couple of 2x4s there. Let's see where we are. It really does have all of it in the shot. Boy, that's really close to having everything, isn't it? Okay, the rear bar assembly. There are two. Let me just give them a quick video. The rest of the bed, after the two sides are done, let's see. Okay. I gotta remember to take pauses, right? Grease. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Is that? It looks like I have my excellent pointing down shot, not my. Okay. As long as I'm on, it's not. And I try to get rid of that corner down here, Mike. The black little corner of junk there. Is that in the shot? I'll try to stay. How's that? The phone is live. Yeah, the phone is live.
There we go.
Okay. Go for the money take. Okay. Ready? So we've assembled this bed sides to the front wall. We've assembled the front tray. The next step is to take your two crossbars. One is a shorter crossbar than the other. The long one goes full width, about a foot from the rear tailgate. The shorter one goes right under the rear tailgate, and there are holes on each side of the bars. There are stainless fasteners that we're going to use, just like we did on the front tray. And if I remember correctly, the open end of the bar faces forward. So you're going to see the smooth side of the C-channel to the rear of the car. And that's because the roll pan and the license plate cover are going to come up and bolt to this surface. So having said that, we'll install our rear bar first. which should give us a nice, stable, hold this for Mike, Zach, and I'll get the camera down. Okay, the rear bar is installed on the holes just to the front on each side. And once again, we use the 8mm fasteners, 2 on each side, open end of the C-channel facing forward. No washer on the inside, washer on the outside. The nut is on the outside, the head of the bolt is on the inside. Let me see with your hand there, Mike. There it is. The longer bar is mounted about a foot in front of the rear bar that you just put in. Same exact mounting method. All right, guys, you guys make me look good now. So we're installing that second support bar, and these are pretty beefy. These are a 1/4 inch thick. Most of the webbing on the 6061 crossbars is a 1/4 inch thick. We really kind of overkilled the vertical load capacity of these bars, simply because same things we were talking about with the motorcycles. You're going to mount motorcycles to the rear of the bed, and you just have to have the weight bearing capacity at the rear of a ute if you're going to haul something heavy like a motorcycle. So as Zach and Mike mount the second bar, we'll get this thing ready. Now at this point, this whole assembly we can lift up and drop onto a charger. So at any point, remember, we're assembling the whole thing together loosely. In the rear we can tighten it up, but in the front we left them kind of loose. The key is once this assembly is together, you can do this this assembly of the 4 or 5 pieces here. You can do it one piece at a time on the car if you want. We're just showing you how we do it in one